Have you been staying aware of the most recent pressures in the South China Ocean? The US Naval Force has sent areas of strength to China by leading the opportunity of route tasks in the contested waters, causing shock in Beijing. The new cruising of the USS Milius inside 12 nautical miles of China's guaranteed Paracel Islands and Naughtiness Reef has placed China nervous, and the continuous regional questions in the area have uplifted strains and expanded the gamble of contention. Stay tuned to learn more about China's reaction to the US Navy's recent operations in the South China Sea and the wider implications of these tensions on the geopolitical landscape in the Asia-Pacific region. The South China Ocean has been a hotbed of pressure and regional debates among adjoining nations, particularly among China and its adjoining nations. As of late, the US has sent areas of strength to China by leading the opportunity of route tasks, or FNOPs, in the contested waters. This move has put China on edge, with Beijing claiming that the US Navy's operations have violated its sovereignty and security. The USS Milius, a direct rocket destroyer, moved China's cases to the Paracel Islands and Naughtiness Reef, which are guaranteed by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. The US Naval Force's activities in the South China Ocean have caused shock in Beijing, as China guarantees practically all of the tremendous South China Ocean as a component of its regional waters. The US Navy's insistence on asserting navigational rights and freedoms in the region, consistent with international law, has further fueled tensions between the two countries. The new demonstration of power by China around Taiwan, one more disputed matter between the US and China, has added to the generally loaded circumstance in the district. The US Navy's operations demonstrate that it will continue to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, regardless of the location of excessive maritime claims and regardless of current events. The Paracel Islands, otherwise called the Xisha Islands in China, are a gathering of little atolls situated in the northern piece of the South China Ocean. The largest islands in the Paracels are home to Chinese military bases, making them a highly contested area. China, Taiwan, and Vietnam all claim sovereignty over the Paracels, which has led to heightened tensions in the region. The US Navy's recent Freedom of Navigation Operations, or FNOPs, challenged China's claims to the Paracels, including its claim to straight baselines enclosing the Paracels. This claim allows China to assert its sovereignty over the waters between the islands, even when those waters are outside the internationally recognized 12 nautical mile limit for territorial waters. The USS Milius, in conducting FNOPs in the region, has challenged China's restrictions on innocent passage imposed by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. The US Navy's operations demonstrate its commitment to upholding international law and asserting navigational rights and freedoms in the region. The Paracel Islands remain a huge disputed matter in the South China Ocean, with China's militarization of the area and continuous regional debates with adjoining nations adding to the generally loaded circumstance in the locale. Naughtiness Reef, situated in the Spratly Islands, is one more profoundly challenged region in the South China Ocean. The reef is asserted by China, Vietnam, and Taiwan, and has been the subject of regional questions for quite a long time. Despite being located within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, China has asserted its territorial claims over the island by building it up and placing military infrastructure on it. The recent sailing of the USS Milius within 12 nautical miles of Mischief Reef was a clear challenge to China's claims over the island. The US Navy contends that China's actions in building up and militarizing the island are in violation of the Law of the Sea Convention. The Chinese military has answered by blaming the US Naval Force for wrongfully interfering in Chinese waters close to Naughtiness Reef. The continuous disagreements regarding Naughtiness Reef and other challenged regions in the South China Ocean feature China's aspirations to grow its regional cases in the district. The US Navy's FNOPs in the region demonstrate its commitment to upholding international law and challenging China's excessive maritime claims. The tensions in the South China Sea have the potential to escalate into a major conflict, with the region being home to vast resources of fish, oil, and gas. Furthermore, about a third of global shipping passes through the area, making it a critical trade route. Now, let's explore China's reaction to the US Navy's recent operations in the region. China has reacted angrily to the recent US Navy operations in the South China Sea, particularly the USS Milius's sailing near the Paracel Islands and Mischief Reef. Beijing claims that the US Navy's actions have violated China's sovereignty and security and have seriously violated international law. The Chinese military has blamed the US Naval Force for breaking into China's regional waters without endorsement, which sabotages harmony and strength in the South China Ocean. China's case over practically all of the tremendous South China Ocean as a component of its regional waters, remembering numerous far-off islands and channels for the contested waterway, has stirred up pressures with different petitioners in the locale, like Taiwan, Vietnam, Brunei, Malaysia, and Indonesia, the U.S. Navy's operations in the region have challenged China's excessive maritime claims and demonstrated the U.S.'s commitment to upholding international law. Despite China's protests, the U.S. Navy has maintained that it will continue to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, regardless of China's objections. The ongoing tensions in the region underscore the challenges facing the international community as they try to navigate the complex territorial disputes in the South China Sea. The U.S. Navy's operations in the South China Sea, including the recent sailing of the USS Milius near the Paracel Islands and Mischief Reef, have been consistent with its long-standing position in the region. The U.S. has maintained that it will continue to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows, regardless of China's excessive maritime claims and objections. The U.S. Navy's Freedom of Navigation Operations, or FNOPs, challenge China's territorial claims in the region and assert navigational rights and freedoms consistent with international law. The U.S. has repeatedly stated that features like Mischief Reef that are submerged at high tide in their naturally formed state are not entitled to a territorial sea. The U.S. has also maintained that the land reclamation efforts, installations, and structures built on Mischief Reef do not change this characterization under international law. The U.S. Navy's operations in the South China Sea demonstrate its commitment to upholding international law and protecting the rights of vessels of any nation to operate in the region. The U.S. has also stressed the importance of maintaining peace and stability in the region, particularly as tensions between China and other claimants in the South China Sea continue to simmer. The ongoing tensions in the region underscore the importance of diplomatic efforts to resolve the territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Taiwan is another point of contention between the U.S. and China, with Beijing claiming the island as part of its territory, despite never having ruled it. The recent U.S. Navy operations in the South China Sea have coincided with a show of force by China around Taiwan, in response to a brief visit by Taiwan's president to the United States. Beijing has repeatedly warned against Taiwan's moves to assert its independence, and the recent military exercises around the island are a clear message to Taipei and Washington. The U.S. has maintained that it will continue to support Taiwan, both diplomatically and militarily, and has reiterated its commitment to the island's defense. The ongoing tensions between the U.S., China, and Taiwan have wider implications for the larger geopolitical landscape in the Asia-Pacific region. The South China Sea is a critical trade route, with about a third of global shipping passing through the area. The ongoing territorial disputes in the region, along with the military buildup and show of force by China, have heightened tensions and increased the risk of conflict. The U.S. Navy's operations in the South China Sea demonstrate its commitment to upholding international law and challenging China's excessive maritime claims. However, they have also increased tensions in the region and highlighted the challenges facing the international community in resolving the territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Well, at the end of the day, the recent U.S. Navy operations in the South China Sea, including the sailing of the USS Milius near the Paracel Islands and Mischief Reef, have challenged China's excessive maritime claims and demonstrated the U.S.'s commitment to upholding international law. The ongoing territorial disputes in the region, along with the military buildup and show of force by China, have heightened tensions and increased the risk of conflict. As we conclude our discussion on the tensions between the United States and China in the South China Sea, it's important to note that this ongoing situation has wider implications for the Asia-Pacific region and beyond. With both sides refusing to back down, the deployment of 2 aircraft carriers is just the latest escalation in what has become a high-stakes game of brinkmanship. The question remains, will this tension continue to escalate, or will diplomatic solutions be sought? It's crucial to stay informed and keep up with the latest developments in this rapidly evolving situation. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.